Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to a new show. I know exactly what I want to do here, so let's just get settled in. Maybe this show is so special that you pull in those you think might really need to hear this message. In the title, I put parents. Parents, way showers, young wizards. That's who this is for. As I saw 44 on the timer, I think I'm going to light this candle. So I'm going to kind of get us into a cozy space so that there's ultimate relaxation and receptivity to what we're going to be talking about today, so that you can hear with your master ears and see things maybe with your master eyes, or however your guides speak to you. I am well aware that there could be a wide range of listeners here. I know this show has listeners in their teens all the way up to 60s is how far I've seen it, I think. I think even beyond. We've got some listeners that are even older than that. So we have a wide range of TLC for the Soul family members. And I want to thank you all for continuing to either come back and return and hear all this juicy goodness, be it on the podcast or on YouTube or wherever you're listening from. We have a lot of listeners on Spotify. Thank you for joining me. And if you're new here, then maybe you were guided here. Maybe your spirit guides, angels, deities guided you here to watch this episode. This is funny. So I just lit a candle that's called, the intention is transformation. And then I have a bag full of a bunch of different perfume samples of my favorite intention perfumes. And I pulled out transformation. I just reached my hand in intuitively grab one, and I got the transformation perfume. So we're going to put a little bit of that on and anoint with that. Just doing fun, magical things, which is part of the message for today's show. So I'm recording this on the super full moon in Capricorn. And I kept seeing for the past few days, open your third eye, see what's right in front of you. That's a big theme, I think, with this full moon is obviously it's a super moon. So things are even being more illuminated for you to see and release and possibly deal with and all of that. So some things came to light for me this morning, and I was like, what? It just what? But I kind of had a feeling about what it was. I'm not going to share exactly what it was, but I kind of had a feeling exactly what it was, but I wasn't sure over the past while. But today I knew for sure what was going on. And I was like, man, what is happening here? And I want to just make sure that we're all wrapped in love light and light love, and that I invite in the guides who overlight this show, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron here in full force. Any other guides showing up? Merlin, my favorite wizard, Merlin showing up for this show. Anybody else? I've got the Brotherhood of the Rose and the Sisters for the Sword. collective here because I think this is a spin-off of the work that we're doing as part of the Rainbow Rose Order. And I was very excited by the amount of people that stepped forward and said they were interested. A source, Spirit told me we'd probably have about 40 people in the group. So just a quick plug for that, because a lot of people have, well, a lot in my standards have listened to this show. And so if you are interested in the Rainbow Rose Order, if you are pledging your service work as an initiate of this order, for those of you that have heard the initiation and done the solo camp and you're interested in moving forward with that, I need you to email me at the show email. And some of you have already done that. You don't have to email me again if you've already done that. I think we're going to communicate about future episodes. I told you it was going to have to be somewhat of like a password protected type of a thing. So future episodes, I think, will come out on the podcast as like a trailer saying, there's going to be a new episode available. Watch your email, kind of a thing. So I'll be communicating with people in that way. So if you're interested in being an initiate, well, it's not that you're interested. It's not like it's not that. It's if you're being called, if Spirit has called you to hear that, and you feel like you're one of those 40 some odd people, that's a Brotherhood of the Rose or a Sisters for the Sword initiate, and you want to join us in the Rainbow Rose Order and help us do this very sacred spiritual work. This is not a social club. This is not a social group. This is not like any other probably Facebook group. Or I just get the feeling people think it's like some sort of like Facebook group where we're just going to sit around and like comment. I'll do like, nah, it's not that. All right. I want to be very clear about that. This is not, a group where you come and you're going to you may hang out with each other. I don't know, but it's not that kind of a group. It's not a social club. Okay. We are here to do spiritual work. We're going to be doing grid work, gatekeeping. We're going to be working with dragon ley lines. This is a very serious group. This is not a play group. All right. So if you feel like, if you thought that's what it was, those of you that have already contacted me, I know it's serious. But if you were kind of like on the fence about it and you're leaning towards I can come and meet, hang out like I do in some other, this is not that. So if that's what you think it is, then you're probably in the wrong place. But if you feel very strongly in your heart about it, then you need to step forward and send me an email and just let me know that, because I'm going to be putting together a group email list. For right now, that's how I'm going to communicate with our group. And if I feel like I need to pull us into some sort of other group setting or whatever, then the guides will definitely make me aware of that. But we've got an assignment coming up here soon within the next week or so. It'll be a private video I'll be recording for those initiates who are ready. So if you email me, then you will be part of that and potentially be working on that assignment. Okay, with all that being said, I want to get back to today's show, which is about your path. And I feel like I'm talking to like anyone here, but I feel like the younger crowd is who really needs to hear this message. And so if you're a parent, it's something for you to start thinking about as I share this. Like, is this something that you would want to involve? I'm thinking this is like really initiate level for those young people who are probably in their rites of passage type age, like starting there, like 14, 15 years old. Those are the people who are kind of ready to hear this, all the way on up. And it's you too. Like, if you're going to be working with this, you should hear it. And it's going to cause an activation within you. And it may not be that you're a parent. It may be that you're a mentor to someone else. It may be that you just need this information for yourself. Like, this has a wide audience, but I feel really strongly called to start sharing it for the young young wizards out there. They're getting the call, friends. They're getting the call and they don't know what to do about it. They're seeing angel numbers. They don't know why those angel numbers are there. Like, they really need a helping hand to step in and start directing them towards their path. Not the path of, it's the path of their soul, not the path of their lineage. So the guides here want to make that very clear. There's two distinctions, and this is kind of what I've been led to see today, is you guys listening to this as the mentors, the way showers, the parents or whatever. You've done a lot of spiritual work on yourself. You understand all the familial line healing that you've done, the ancestral clearing and healing. You've been doing that work to clear past trauma through the ancestral line. Lots of different things being addressed. Lots of stuff, right? I'm talking about like abuse, whatever kind, alcohol and drug abuse, like that kind of stuff coming from the ancestral line, where I think I mentioned this in the last show, I did in the last show, they didn't know, they didn't have the right tools and the wherewithal sometimes and the know-how to pull themselves out of the situations that they were in. But we do now. And what's happening here is us, and if you are a parent or you're mentoring someone who's a younger soul in a physical form, that karma, that ancestral line karma still lives within their DNA. And so they're happily walking down that path. And Goddess Hecate came in very strongly for me today, which this is like a crossroads, kind of a path moment for some people. It could even just be for you. It may not even be a younger person in your life. It could just be for you. But there's this crossroads moment where it's like, okay, am I going to keep going down the road of my ancestral line and continue with potential stuff that haunted my ancestral family in the past, that lives within my DNA, it lives within my bloodline. And so you have to understand how to clear that. But if you've done the work, but I just feel like there's these two. No, they're saying it's all the same. It's like they're kind of telling me to take the age group out of it, but just know that that's kind of the lens that I'm looking at it through right now. But it's like you're at a crossroads, or someone is at a crossroads, and it's like they can continue to go down like the ancestral line path, meaning I'm going, and okay, I'm going to fall into the same pitfalls that my ancestors did. I'm going to pick up a drink. I'm going to pick up a whatever. I don't know what it is. I'm going to hit that person. I'm going to let my anger take over. And all it is like I'm going to let my anger take over. I'm going to fall into the same trap that my ancestors did and just keep going down that line. Or tick lock, an activation has been made. If you're here listening to this and you've been seeing things like angel numbers, 144 or whatever, or somebody who has, and they've told you about it, like, man, I keep seeing these 1111 and 144, but I don't know what to do about it. And are you going to be able to take their hand or direct them to someone you think can, to show them down the other road, which is the road to helping them clear all of these, it's like move down a different path and walk away from going down that same path that their ancestors went down. And I really feel like it's a distinction that has to be made. Either, yep, I don't want to be like that anymore, or from what I've heard, some people don't know their ancestors, from what I've heard, that didn't sound like a good path to go down. Maybe I don't want to do that. Those spiritual practices and ways of thinking have to start, the distinctions and the mindset has to be there to want to choose a brighter, shinier way and to be of service. And I know that many of the people that I've talked to that are in this situation do want to be of service. They just don't know what to do. And they're like stuck in this space of wanting to, but not knowing what to do. And so I feel like it's as part of a way show or having my own spiritual practice that is my business, it's part of my responsibility to put something out there that, helps in some way towards this type of a, like an initiation or situation. So when I was thinking about my own personal circumstance, I'm like, well, gosh, somebody who doesn't have a path to follow, like it's going to be really hard to just pick up from scratch and you guys, we know, we who have been doing this work for quite some time, like we addressed many paths before the one we're on now. And I think some of you kind of actually like picked a specific one, like I'm going down the witch path, I'm going down the druid path, I'm going down the priestess path. And what does that look like? And a lot of what you drew out of that and how you made it your own is you went back to your own past life history and those things just started naturally coming in for you. And you were like, oh, I remember how to be a witch or a wizard or whatever. Like it's all just coming naturally for me. And you fell into that and you were called to do that. Some of our folks with not so much experience in doing that don't know where to start. And so we're just here as one of many. I'm just here as one of many, sharing something that I think could be a resource. So when I thought to this situation I had come up earlier today, I was like, well, this person I don't even know what this person's path is. I'm like, kind of like settling into their akash. And I'm like, I think this person is, and then Spirit's like, they are on a wizard path. And I'm like, what the heck? And of course, Merlin came in too. Because they could have told me anything like this person is a witch on a witch path or a whatever path. And I was like, I feel like this person's on a wizard path. And I started thinking like, oh my God, what does a wizard path even look like? I don't even know if I've seen any books about that. And who knows, there are. I know the one came to mind. I think Deepak Chopra wrote one about Merlin. It was I have to go back but it was very, something like that. And I started going to search for that book and I was like, wait a minute, wait a second, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't need to search for that because I'm writing that book myself, not his book. I'm writing my own book. And I was like, wait, I was working with wizards probably like the beginning of this year. I started channeling a book called The Wizard's Path. And is it called The Wizard's Path? Holy shit. Let me see. Hold on. Where am I? I want to just read some excerpts for you. And I think we ought to start, as I'm continuing to work on this book, exploring these in more depth on this show. It's something that you can do. It's something as a parent you can do with any willing child. Not child. I told you the age group I think is where we would. I wouldn't go any younger than like an initiate, like a teenager, like a young teenager, kind of a 13, 14, 15 type if I was a parent or a mentor talking to kids. I'm trying to be really careful with my words because I know like YouTube and this whole it's made for kids, not made for kids thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to not get it, whatever they do when it's talking about kids and they don't want anybody to see it because I don't know. Anyway, stop. So the transformation candle's burning. Okay, here's my book. It's called Wizard Training, A Guide to Being Magical in a Modern World. And this is not my first nonfiction. So this is a nonfiction channeling. The first one is Eat Like a Lemurian. These are path books, they're saying. They're calling my work path books, not workbooks. They're path books. I like that. Path books. Eat Like a Lemurian is a body of work and a spiritual practice that if you decide to take it up and work with the Lemurians, I would say it's probably about a year's worth of, if you took that book and did all the protocols and practices in the book, I would say you're looking about a year's worth of spiritual practice. This, I'm not sure yet. This wizard training was the one that came right after I published Eat Like a Lemurian, which you can read for free. All my ebooks are free to read over on my ebook publisher, Apple Books, Google Books, Barnes and Nobles. You can go to any of those. The links are in my show notes. Every time I talk about something that's any of my work, the links are always in the show notes. Right after I channeled and published that book, Wizard Training came in. So I just want to read. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it. I've got 4 chapters so far, but I do want to go all the way through the first practice. But I would say just sit with this and gel with this and see if this is a practice that maybe you would like to do yourself, or that you might like to pull in someone you know who could use a little mentoring regardless of their age. And maybe you become the wizard trainer, for lack of a better word. And you become like the hermit, guiding them on their spiritual journey, their spirit guide or whatever. I could see this being used in so many formats, just to bring some magic into what folks out there may feel is hard. It's hard to make that jump from the 3D to the 5D. It's not easy. It feels so good to a soul in a physical body. It feels so good to make that jump. But if you're new to it and you don't have a consistent daily practice, it's going to be really hard to maintain that and to be able to, folks, look at it. If you're listening to this, you've probably been doing spiritual work for quite some time. I've knowingly been on this spiritual path, doing daily work on myself, healing, all of that, honing my spiritual gifts to be able to come here to you since 2013. That's knowingly. That doesn't talk about, anything the soul was doing before that. But 2013, where are we at now? 9 years. It takes daily practice, and it's easy to fall out of that. It's easy to fall back into old 3D ways, I want to call it. And so I think these path books that I've been called to channel and bring in from these different guides, first the Lemurians and the Pleiadians, and now the Wizard world, are just here to help you develop some sort of a daily spiritual practice that helps you bring the magic into your everyday life and helps you start to live your soul's path and your soul's purpose. It's showing you the door to what all those activation codes are that you've been seeing, all the 1111s and the 144s and the 111s and the whatever it is you've been seeing. Those are some big ones for spiritual awakening, 1111s and 144s. So without further ado, if you want to settle back for a moment, this is channeling. All my books are channeled. This came in from the Wizard Collective, of which Merlin really helped me gather those guides and gurus together and help put this information down in a format for all of you. So here we go. This is Wizard Training, a guide to being magical in a modern world. Chapter 1 is, can a modern life be truly magical? Can it hold the ideals of a life long ago in a faraway place where lords and ladies ruled, and the magic wizard was held in high regard for his knowledge and ancient knowing and power? This handbook is here to dispel the myth that living in a modern world cannot be done unless one is solely living in the constructs of a mainly mundane reality. The wizards and great master teachers of the higher realms are here to help us with a teaching that will both empower and electrify the senses, providing you with a wherewithal to live a more sustainable and enchanting path on the planet. Join us over the course of these pages as the beings of light and wizardly elders help us to step up our game and our vibration such that all life, even the mundane, even the 3D, can be magical. Chapter 2, The Spell of the Modern World Dispelled. Once upon a time, oh, we thought to get your attention with magical rhyme, and so it is we begin on this small journey with you. Dear friend, you are living in a place so far from what a wizard of old would now know or recognize. But the timeline and the players are of no matter, for within the pages of which we write these instructions, you will find a way to pull yourself out of the drudgery and boredom that are part of your daily now. We have a plan to help open up your spiritual eyes to what really lie before you all along, but that you have hidden from yourself at the guise of wanting to be like those around you. Don't you know that you are not like everyone else in a way? Yet in another one, you are exactly like those you fear and those you admire. We are going to give you the wizard's 10-step program to overcoming the adversity that you feel when you are plugged into the world. We are going to help you unplug a little to tap into your heart, and then we will give you very specific guides about how to plug into the world again, but remain in your magical powers. Take a deep breath. Let's take a moment to realize that it was a little magical dust that brought you to these pages. But without the urging and longing of your own heart's magic to learn more and rise above, then you wouldn't be here in these pages, now would you? So give yourself a little pat on the back and take a moment to recognize that you too are a magical being of light. And some of you, if not all, have come from beyond the planet with a longing in your heart to return home. For you, we will offer the 11-step program on how to live a magical life when you are from beyond the stars. Take note, fellow traveler, but that by the time you are done reading, and if you follow the protocols as they are given, it is the wizardly guarantee that you will be successful. Now take heart for a moment as we help you to relax and to open up to the teachings that come next. Whenever you open these pages, you will only be able to focus on this text, and no other interruptions will come to you until our lesson is complete. There now, the first magical intention has been set, and so in this quiet and introspective place, we start. Chapter 3, Knowing Who You Really Are. It is with a deep caring that we pave the way to the first step on the journey, for if we share too much too soon, you might decide to abandon this challenge. And our goal is always to have a satisfied wizard in training. So the first thing you must do is wake up to who you really are. This is the call of this entire text through a series of experiments and experiences that we have carefully crafted for you. For you must always experiment with anything new to you to see how these writings fit you. And we know that if you are here, then you will find at least the experimental nature of this work to be most exciting. Take my hand, dear one, and let us sit for a while by a magical brook. I, the inner wizard in your soul, have come to show you something. Close your eyes for a moment and take 3 deep breaths. 3 is the number of deep knowledge and transformation, and the saying or doing of something 3 times is magic in and of itself. With your eyes closed, recite these words 3 times. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. Now say 3 times more and feel how this vibrates through your soul. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. I know that I am more than just a body and mind and emotions. I know there is much more to who I am. You have made a judgment call about your true nature, and you've opened the door for your soul to respond. Now call out loud 3 times and ask to be shown in some way that you are truly more than a body, mind, and soul. Ask for a sign that correlates to this judgment call. Ask to be shown, and you will be. However, you have to be open to receive. So lastly, call out loud and ask for help in being open to see the signs that you will be shown. These signs can come in any form, but most will happen when you are outdoors and soaking in the rays of the sun, or admiring a flower, or staring at the moon. Ask to receive signs that are meaningful to you, and record what you see somewhere so you can track all the learnings you receive from these good signs and experiments. Okay, so you need a wizard notebook. Ask, and it is given. See, like you are looking at the world through a magical lens, and the truth will be shown to you. But make no final judgments yet. Just ask to be shown. Be willing to receive, and record what you find. And for our practice, this is chapter 4. Remember they told you it was going to be a 10-step program. So where is it? A 10-step program. Wizard's 10-step program to overcoming the adversity you feel when you are plugged into the world. Or if you feel like you're a starseed, they're going to be giving us the 11-step program on how to live a magical life when you are from beyond the stars. But the first thing they're giving us is an experiential, which is the forest technique. So now take a deep breath again. And decide that you are going to find some of these answers to your deepest questions. We are going on a journey, dear soul, and you will enjoy it even further if you have lighter baggage to carry. So close your eyes and utter these words 3 times. Angels on high, please hear my request. Please clear my energy and allow me to open to this magical quest. Angels on high, please hear my request. Please clear my energy and allow me to open to this magical quest. Angels on high, please hear my request. Please clear my energy and allow me to open to this magical quest. There is a clearing up ahead, and you must decide that you will follow me, your inner wizard, through this portal door that leads to a particular place. It is one you have forgotten about, but it exists nonetheless. Tonight in your dreams, you will meet a young man. He will seem familiar to you, but you know not when you came upon him for the first time. and you might ask him from whence he comes, but he will only speak in sing-song and hum. He will lead you by the hand, and you will agree to accompany him. Watch your dreams and make note of all that follows. 3 times in the next 3 days, you will find yourself in a forest setting, either in your dreams, your waking moments outside, or when you are online. Take note of the beings that are present. Do you even see them around you? They are here to assist in your quest. This is a time out of time feeling, and it is trying to tell you something. The forest only speaks to those who are willing to receive. Each time you are in this forest setting, say out loud, I believe and am open to receive. I believe and am open to receive. I believe and am open to receive. Use your notebook to track all that you see. This is an experiment to get you noticing and in the receptive mode. The more you open your senses to the magic around you, the more you will notice that it already exists within everything, even in you. Once you've taken this experiment for 3 days, we will have an immersion experience for you to try next. Are you ready, truth seeker? So that is a lot. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot even writing any of that. I told you, I think I showed you guys when I started this month that I had all this unfinished work. So wizard training is coming back to be worked on. You might have to listen to it a couple of times. I would definitely find some sort of a notebook or make yourself some sort of a notebook that's meaningful to you for this journey. It's something it sounds like we're going to be working on periodically when they call me in to bring the next chapters in, or the next experiential or protocol in. We'll be bringing it back here, and then at some point, this will be available as a book if you're interested. But I think it's important enough to start sharing it now, and then we'll see where we go with this. So guys that are here with us, the wizards that are here with us, the Wizard Collective, Consortium, Merlin, and the guides of the show are saying that they are complete. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this special episode, Wizard Training. And we will see you all again soon. Take care. This episode has been brought to you by Relics Bookshop, Oakwood's premier location for magical books, sacred tools, candles, body care items, and more. Be you wizard, muggle, or witch, Relics has something for everyone. Thank you so much for listening.